52-year-old Wayne Trail from Stonebridge Road, Gravesend, Kent, DA11. A child rapist who subjected his victims to depraved and sickening abuse has been jailed. Wayne Trail of Stonebridge Road, Northfleet, was convicted of 21 separate offences after repeatedly abusing multiple victims for more than a decade. The 52-year-old targeted one of his victims during the 1990s and went on to later exploit a further 2 children, warning them that they would not be believed if they reported his crimes. Police officers were told of the abuse in March 2022 and Trail was arrested. He refused to comment during interviews and initially denied any wrongdoing at court. However, he eventually pleaded guilty shortly before a trial at Woolwich Crown Court, admitting charges including rape, attempted rape, and sexual assaults and gross indecency. On December the 19th, Trail was jailed for 21 years after the judge branded him a dangerous sexual offender who had groomed and abused his victims. Upon his release from prison, Trail will be subjected to an extended license period of 8 years and will be on the sex offenders registry indefinitely. Detective Constable Daniel Grant, who led the investigation, said Trail repeatedly subjected his victims to depraved and sickening abuse, causing incalculable damage to their young lives. He is a predator child sex offender who used fear and intimidation to obtain sexual gratification, and whose deplorable actions will sadly have a lasting and profound impact on those he targeted. The fact justice has finally been served is largely down to the incredible courage and bravery of his victims, and I am grateful Trail is at least now behind bars where he can cause no further harm to other young children. 70-year-old Simon Montgomery from Littlefield Road, Raynham, Gillingham, Kent, ME8. A former teacher who sexually abused a pupil during the 1980s has been jailed. Simon Montgomery taught at a Dulwich College preparatory school, now Dulwich Cranbrook, in Corshorn, Cranbrook. The former science teacher and boarding school headmaster exploited his position to repeatedly assault a young boy under his care. The 70-year-old of Littlefield Road, Raynham, began grooming his victim by instructing him to stay behind after lessons, after showing him explicit magazines. This moved on to repeated instances of sexual abuse in both the classroom and nearby sports facility. His sentence comes after the allegations were reported to the police in December 2022. Montgomery was arrested and later confessed to officers during interviews, confirming the victim's name before being asked. He was charged with 2 counts of indecent assault and gross indecency with a child, and a further charge was added of making indecent images of a child in connection to material found on one of his digital devices. During the sentencing hearing, it was revealed that although Montgomery has no previous convictions, he was cautioned in 2006 for 3 offences of sexual activity with a child in respect of children he had taught. Montgomery pleaded guilty and at Maidstone Crown Court today, December the 19th, was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison and made subject to a sexual harm prevention order. Now a convicted sex offender, the disgraced former teacher will have to sign on the sex offender registry for life and will be subjected to a sexual harm prevention order for 15 years. He will also be subjected to regulations barring him from working with children. 34-year-old Ben Hanger from St Agnes Gardens, Sheerness, Kent, ME12. A convicted sex offender who assaulted a child in Gillingham has been handed more time behind bars. Ben Hanger abused the girl between 2016 and 2017. The offences were reported to Kent Police in 2021. Hanger, 34, was arrested at HMP Elmley, where he is serving a 15-year extended sentence after he was convicted following a trial in December 2022. He was jailed after he attempted to kidnap a schoolgirl in January 2021. Hanger of St Agnes Gardens, Sheerness, admitted sexual assault against a girl under 13 and inciting a girl to engage in sexual activity. He was sentenced at Maidstone Crown Court on Wednesday, December the 4th, to 4 years in prison. He was also ordered to serve an additional 5 years on licence. The additional sentencing will be added to his total years to serve. Investigating Officer Detective Constable Fabi Hollingsworth said Hanger is a dangerous man with a predatory pattern of behavior, and I'm pleased he has been sentenced accordingly. He scared his young victim and told her to keep quiet, but I want to commend her bravery in reporting his offending and ensuring that he was held accountable for his offending. Kent police will also investigate reports of sexual abuse, no matter how recent, and there are specially trained officers who will ensure investigations are carried out diligently and sensitively. I would encourage anyone who wishes to report similar offending to do so, and to ensure an investigation can be started and perpetrators can be held to account. 62-year-old Michael Hughes from Medway, Kent. A sexual predator who got a thrill from preying on underage girls with explicit chats on Facebook Messenger has been jailed. Michael Hughes encouraged his 3 victims to perform sexual acts on themselves and to send them images of them doing so. The 62-year-old also sent the girls photos of genitals, but unbeknown to the pervert, he was in fact communicating with online pedophile hunters who had set up fictitious profiles as part of a sting. Following his arrest in June 2021, he candidly confessed to police that the conversations had given him a sexual thrill, but he also claimed that he had been simply given sex education to one of the victims and had asked another about dick pics because he wanted to warn her about online dangers. Hughes admitted multiple offences and appeared before Maidstone Crown Court for his sentencing hearing last Tuesday, October the 29th. The offender, who was living in the Medway area at the time, groomed the 3 girls, reporting to be aged 11, 12 and 13 over a period of 3 months. Maidstone Crown Court heard their ages were clearly stated from the outset of the chats with Hughes. His explicit messages included instructions on how to masturbate, telling the girls to think of my and think of me touching you. Hughes told another that she was pretty and bright before asking if she wanted to chat about sex, saying we can be boyfriend and girlfriend on here. Bartholomew Otoli, defending, told the court the offences were born out of fantasy and disenchantment after his 20-year-long relationship with his partner turned sour and distant. He also told the court that Hughes had succumbed to temptation after answering messages that arrived in his inbox, adding that the victims were not ones hunted down by a predator. But the lawyer said although the sex offender did not actually receive any indecent images or send images of his own penis, he did not seek to demur from his frank admissions made to police. He has expressed his shame, embarrassment and remorse, added Mr. Otolu. His words to his solicitor were, I very much regret this behaviour. I'm ashamed of myself for behaving in this way. The court was also told that having been a boxing champion, Hughes used his building skills to work hard all his life and provide for his family. However, his arrest has left him living in a caravan, in a field or garden, said the barrister, and he no longer has contact with them. But Mr. Otolu said the 3-year delay in Hughes' case reaching its conclusion was not his fault. Having been interviewed in June 2021, his first appearance before magistrates was not until April this year. He then pleaded guilty to a total of 8 offences relating to attempted to inciting a child to engage in sexual activity and attempting to engage in sexual communication with a child. Judge Gareth Branston told him custody was inevitable. These are disgusting offences and you were potentially preying on vulnerable young children, he said. On his release, Hughes will be subjected to a sexual harm prevention order for 10 years, as well as indefinite sex offender notification requirements.